What is up? Welcome to Etsy Jam. In this episode, we celebrate 2016 in true Marmalade fashion. By the numbers! We go over some interesting stats from 2016 concerning Marmalade and Etsy, and offer some peeks into when different seasons begin trending. Enjoy some insights and get ready to make 2017 your year. We'd love to have you on as a guest on Etsy Jam this year too, so hit us up at success@marmalade.com. What is up, guys? Welcome to Etsy Jam. I am Gordon from Marmalade.
And I am Richie from Marmalade. And if you don't know what Marmalade is the best tool for Etsy sellers that are serious about success. It is the best for Etsy SEO and market research. So check out Marmalade. It is spelled Marmalade.com. But if you search for Marmalade in Google, we broke that too and will be the top result. So come check us out.
Definitely. And today we've got a special episode. We are going to be talking about 2016, the year in review. So put a little presentation together here, and we're going to spin through some numbers by Marmalade and Etsy and stuff like that we think you'll find interesting. We also talk a little bit about keywords over 2016 that had some pretty high engagement. So keep those in mind too, as you are updating the tags and keywords on your listings. So
is that orange on fire? Is that what I'm seeing right there?
It was fireworks for 2016 for New Year's.
Ah, got it.
I should have done sound effects, but I messed that up. So the first number, probably the one that I think is the most important to Richie and I, is the number of shops we've been able to help throughout 2016. So this is fantastic. 32,000 shops we've been able to help with their Etsy stores, with their listings, with their SEO. And just being able to connect with so many people has been absolutely fantastic.
That was awesome. Almost 33,000 shops. That's a lot.
Isn't that crazy?
I did not realize the number was that big. That goes quick.
It does. It really does. It's crazy. In addition to that, though, kind of one of the things that sets Marmalade apart from some of the other tools that are out there in the world for people to use is that we offer very personal support to people. So we kind of pride ourselves on being very accessible. You can email any one of the three of us that are behind Marmalade, Richie, myself, and Kevs. There's a contact us thing through the app. We have a Facebook group that we're very accessible through. There's all kinds of different ways you can reach out to us. And we have been able to personally help over 3,000 people throughout 2016, which again is awesome.
Am I thinking that's right? That's more than 10% of the shops?
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
That is a lot.
That is a lot.
That is a lot. Now, what's also a lot is the number of forgotten passwords in 2016. So over 18,000 people trying to log into Marmalade happen to forget their password. And I guess this could include repeats too. So if somebody forgot their password twice, they would be counted twice in this number.
That's also a big number.
That is also a big number. In fact, it's 4 times more than 2015. So come on, guys.
Wow. That's. Is this a good time to tell them to use LastPass?
It's a great time to tell them to use LastPass. Or any other password manager, or sticky notes, or however you want to write these things down and keep track of them so that you're not forgetting them. But yeah, Richie and I
should use LastPass for security.
Yeah, we both use it. We love it. We've talked about it in some other episodes. In fact, one of the last 2 that we did, where we talked about mobile apps, I think we talked about it again there too. It's absolutely fantastic, and it'll keep track of not only your Marmalade password, but your password for all other online websites. And it makes it really easy to have a unique password for every single website, which is something you should be doing also.
Yep. And don't worry, we're not just telling you guys this. I harass my friends and family about this all the time.
Yeah, it's good practice.
And they don't really listen, but it is good practice.
Just go with first name, birthday.
Done.
Blanket.
If you need another birthday, use Gordon's birthday.
There you go. Don't tell them my birthday, man. They can get into all my accounts then. All right. So total number of keyword searches done in Marmalade in 2016 was 1.7 million. I mean, this is another big number. That's kind of a trend here in this. There's going to be lots of big numbers that we're throwing at you guys. But that's awesome. That we've had people in the system doing searches, and generated results for over 1.7 million keywords. It's fantastic.
I'm trying to figure out how many per day that is.
That's a good question. You should do that math real quick.
That's 4,715 per day. So 4,715 per day.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
Yeah. Now, obviously, that varies too. We find that it tends to be busier on the weekdays and less busy on weekends. So, I mean, yeah.
It is interesting to see all the different scenarios that the shops on our platform are in, because some of them are, like you said, overall, it's less busy on the weekend. But we definitely have a chunk of shops that are busy on the weekends because, their shop is their side hustle and they're trying to get out of the day job that keeps them busy during the workday. But then we also have the shops that are really busting their ass during the workday or the work week.
Yeah.
And then by the time the weekends are coming, they're taking some much needed time off from it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely really interesting to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this is increased drastically since 2015. We opened, again, Marmalade started as being publicly accessible, I think in like March or April of 2015. Is that right?
I was going to say February.
I know we made it in February. It was out there, but I don't know if we had actual people logging in until a little bit later in the year. But we can go February.
Whichever one. Yeah,
But
it was made in February, but yeah.
Still 7 times more searches than last year. That's some sweet, sweet growth. We would love to share Marmalade with even more people in 2017 and see this continue into that year too.
Yeah, let's 10x it.
Let's do it. Let's do 10 times more than 2015. Let's do 17 million searches.
I like it. Yes.
So one of the other features we have inside of Marmalade is being able to compare keywords. So if you're an entrepreneur, you can compare up to 4 keywords side by side and really easily get a good picture of what that landscape looks like and which keywords stand out better than other ones for engagement and competition and whatnot. And we had almost 1 million keyword comparisons done in 2016, which was 29 times more than 2015, which is also fantastic. Some great growth here too, which we'd like to see continue through 2017. As more people find out about Marmalade and get to use it with their listings.
Let's 50x that one.
I hope you're writing these down, man, because I'm not going to keep track.
They'll hold us accountable, and we'll hold them accountable. A circle of accountability.
So in adding 1.7 million searches to our total number of searches that we've done through Marmalade, as long as it's been in existence, it's bumped our total number of searches up over 3 million, which is awesome. We hit 3 million searches not too long ago. So that's sweet. That's really sweet.
That was just the other day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really not that long ago. We hit 3 million searches, and we kind of sent a note to one another and had a little mini celebration over Slack, which was fun.
Was that before the first of the year then? Because you had 3 million up there. So was that actually before the first of the year?
I don't remember if that was before the first of the year. I think it was after the first.
It was very close though.
Yeah.
It was like the second or third or something like that then if it wasn't before the first.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to do a top 5 countdown here. We've got a couple of these here that we're going to do. And the first one we're going to look at is most searched keywords in Marmalade. So this would be the keywords that Marmalade users, the Etsy sellers, are searching for the most within our system. Do you care to guess at any of these, Richie?
Let me think. Gift for her.
Ooh, great guess. That's actually a really good guess.
How about funny greeting card?
Funny greeting card. All right, and then give me a third one, and we'll see if your 3 are on the list.
Some vintage jewelry.
Okay. All right, so coming in at number 5, we've got wall art.
Wall art. Okay.
Wall art. Coming in at number 4, nursery decor. This seems to be a popular category on Etsy in general.
It does, which makes sense.
Baby headband. The whole headband area of Etsy seems to be huge too, whether it's baby, boho, all kinds of different yoga headbands. We've seen a lot of headband stuff come through the system. All right, so we're down to 2 now, man. So let's see if we can pick up 1 or 2 of the ones that you had suggested. Coming in at number 2 is Christmas gift. Obviously, yeah, this is high, right? This is looking out through the entire year of 2016 here, but there were enough searches, probably leading up to Christmas time, that it was enough to bump this keyword to the top of most commonly searched words in Marmalade. Christmas is a busy time for many Etsy sellers, so I'm sure that a lot of people were looking at Christmas keywords right around that time. So number 1, I don't know, man. I think you might have hit it here. Let's see. Gift for her. There it is. That is.
So I got 1 of 5.
That's good though. I mean, that's an insanely popular keyword. People are looking at that a lot. And in fact, if you're an entrepreneur and you look at the trending tags that show up throughout the year, you will see this one on that list fairly frequently.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Your wife, girlfriend, whoever, mom, aunt likes Etsy. Well,
Yeah.
Looking for gifts for her on there is a pretty surefire way to get something.
Absolutely.
From at least the right store.
Absolutely. Also in 2016, we pushed out a bunch of new features inside of Marmalade. So we have added a keyword storm feature, which allows you to kind of generate ideas for keywords, sort of brainstorming of keywords. You seed it with a keyword, and then it throws back a bunch of suggestions. And as you pick from those suggestions, it'll generate even more and more and more suggestions until you basically get tired of coming up with keyword suggestions. It'll just keep plugging away.
It's like having a team of other people there brainstorming with you. It lets you step outside of yourself. The things that you wouldn't think of to kind of connect those dots.
Yeah.
Kind of like Netflix. You watch a movie, and then it's like, hey, you might like these. And you look at it and you're like, what do these have to do with each other?
Yeah. Or like, wow, I've never even heard of this. But then you check it out and you're like, oh, wow, that was actually a good movie. Thanks, Netflix.
I've watched some really unknown movies on Netflix and been pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, same here. There was a documentary I watched once called Dust to Glory that was about the Baja 1000 race. And it was fantastic and very interesting. And I never would have even heard of it or thought to watch it on my
own. I would not have either.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone go check out the Baja 1000 documentary.
Yeah.
Dust to Glory.
Dust to Glory. It was really good. And it covered, in the Baja 1000, there's different vehicle classes with dirt bikes and those, what do they call them? Trophy trucks, right? Those super high powered, 800, 900 horsepower pickups. And all kinds of things, and it follows different teams and the struggles and obviously all the challenges and stuff that come with doing a 1,000-mile race through the desert. So it was really cool.
Like being stranded in the desert with a broken down vehicle?
That. Yeah, like that. Or even at night, right? Because they go through nighttime during the race. And I think it actually ends at night, too, when it's still dark out. And, you think about driving on the roads at night with how hard it is to see sometimes and how your headlights can't reach that far in front of you. Then think about doing that in a desert, going 100 miles an hour, and all you see is dust in front of you. I mean, it's pretty nuts.
Wow.
So that's Storm. We also added listing scores. So Marmalade now, if you link your Etsy shop through Marmalade, we will analyze your listings that you have in your shop with regard to SEO and provide you a letter grade score with how well that listing is set up to target SEO. And you can also click those listings to view listing details, which we have on here as another feature, and it'll bring you a page with a whole bunch of details about that listing, both SEO and non-SEO sorts of information. We do a lot of analysis on your listing descriptions, so you can see the number of words you're using and where it's been kind of recommended to rank for that, as well as your reading score, how difficult your descriptions are to read. And your sentiment of your descriptions, whether they're positive or negative or neutral. And you kind of want to make sure you're targeting more positive descriptions when you're writing too. So we've added the listing details feature as well. And then we've also added an entrepreneur course library. So anybody who's an entrepreneur inside of Marmalade will have access to a library of courses that we have posted out there that cover all kinds of different things. Not just SEO related courses, not even specific to Etsy necessarily. These are some really good courses around e-commerce and business that are valuable to check out. So the storms. Now, we introduced these features at the very beginning of November. So considering they've only been out for a couple months so far, we've already had users generate over 35,000 storms within Marmalade. So this is them entering a keyword to get suggestions back from Marmalade. And that's happened over 35,000 times in just a couple months. So we've had really fantastic engagement with the storm feature inside of Marmalade. And we've heard a lot of good things about it too. People finding keywords that they wouldn't have even necessarily thought of on their own. In fact, using the storm feature, we have helped sellers find over 271,000 new keywords, which is cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And when you say a couple months, you really do mean it, because it is like just a couple days within 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, wow. That's a lot. That's a big number.
That
Both those
is
are
a
bigger
lot.
numbers than I would have expected.
Here's a big number too. So the listings that we talked about analyzing too within the system, when people tie in their Etsy shop and visit the homepage of Marmalade, we analyze all of their shop's listings, however many hundred they may happen to have, and we've analyzed over 20 million of those. Now, this includes repeat analysis too, so anytime I go and I make changes, then I come back and I analyze my listings again, that gets added into this number, but that still counts as analyzing the listing, so I counted it in here twice. But yeah, 20 million times, or 20 million individual listings have been analyzed using our new listing analysis feature that we have.
Which has also only been around for 2 months.
Yeah.
That's about 633 per store.
Yeah.
Per shop. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, or it could be 200 listings that I analyzed 3 times.
This is true. But consider all the 32,000 shops we've helped this year are not connected. They have not connected their shops because that was new.
This is true.
So only people have been by within like the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Have really gotten a chance to take that feature for a test.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. If you haven't yet, now's a good time to focus on your 2017 SEO strategy and hit us up. Check it out. See where you're scoring.
Everyone else is doing it.
Everyone else is doing it. Clearly.
Yep. Peer pressure.
The Entrepreneur Course Library, we've started again. This started fairly recently, so we've got 2 courses in there so far. We'll be adding more as time goes on. I think we're trying to hit like a course per month is our goal. So it's only been around a couple months. We've got a couple courses out there. But even with that, we've had over 700 people engage with those and watch our course videos, which is cool that people are getting into those.
We have 2 courses plus an ebook, though.
Nice. Forgot about the ebook.
Yes. It's a good ebook. What was that? 12 simple strategies to boost your conversion, right?
Yeah.
Boost your sales.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Which, I mean, you're boosting your sales by really boosting your conversion rate.
Yeah.
It's about the non-SEO parts of it. Making more out of the traffic you're getting.
Absolutely. Yeah, which, I mean, obviously, we've talked before about it. We don't think SEO is everything. You're not going to, blow up your sales just by focusing on SEO and nothing else. It's a piece of a puzzle, right? And so in that same context, you need to acknowledge these other pieces of the puzzle, but you also need to make sure that you're doing those things well too. And so a lot of the material that we cover in the jam, in the ebook, and the courses is going to focus on not just some of the SEO stuff, but the other things that you need to be doing too, like good photos, good descriptions, all that kind of good stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Pretty much anything that's worth doing is worth doing well. And the things that aren't worth doing well are really not worth doing at all.
Yeah. That's very deep.
Thanks. Well, I think many of our listeners are, have either a small team or they do this themselves. And that means you have to wear many hats and you're constantly juggling all this different stuff to do. And it's really easy to take a shortcut. But when you take a shortcut on some of these things that really matter, it kind of ruins the whole system.
Yeah. It's also really easy to get distracted too when you're wearing so many hats and doing so many different things, and then you see an article about this or watch a video about that, and it's easy to get kind of like excited and caught up in it. But it's like Richie's saying, you got to stop and think and really be like, okay, now is this really worth my time? Is this really going to help me achieve those goals that I've set up for myself? Is this going to help me double my sales, right? Like I want to do. Is this going to help me quit my day job if I start doing this thing? And I don't know the answer to that. That's something you're gonna have to kind of dig into for yourself. But it's important to keep that in mind when you're deciding where your time goes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are you going to get a big return on it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Would you pay someone else to do it? It's
There
kind
you
of a
go.
nice one too. Like
Yeah,
because if you wouldn't pay someone else to do it,
yeah,
then it's not valuable to you and it's probably not valuable to other people either. So
yeah,
if you wouldn't pay someone else to do it, you certainly shouldn't spend your own time doing it either.
yeah. Even if it's like the neighbor kid.
Right?
All right, so let's
You
hit up
know,
another top five here. We've got the top five keywords in 2016 with the highest engagement. So one of the cool things we can do with our data that we've collected in Marmalade is look back at some of the information like engagement over the year and things like that. Now, these top five are actually all really close to one another. In fact, the top 10 were all really close to one another in engagement. So keep that in mind. It's not like there's any one that like super jumps out above the other ones, but kind of an interesting look at just the top five here. Do you want to venture a guess at any of these?
um, man,
This is a lot harder, right? So
I,
these are keywords inside of Etsy that have the highest number of views and favorites and people engaging with listings inside of these keyword searches, not just, I did a search and I didn't actually click anything. I moved on and did another search. So unless you're in Marmalade and you're trying to do specific research inside of certain areas, it's a lot harder to kind of just know off the top of your head which keywords are going to have high engagement. You really need to put in the time and do the searches to find the keywords that do have good engagement.
I want to say something Christmas related, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I know it's one of the top searched, but I'm not sure if it has
Yeah,
the highest and if it has
yeah.
enough to be a highest engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like something jewelry related would be in there because I know it's really
Jewelry's
saturated.
huge.
All the jewelry sellers will tell us
Yeah,
how saturated the market is, but and it is, right?
yeah,
Everyone is trying to do stuff and you do have to stand out.
yeah.
There are a lot of shoppers for it. So you definitely have to compete for attention. But I imagine that a jewelry keyword would be in there. Um, headband, I would expect headband accessories
Yeah,
in Etsy seem to be really big.
yeah. All right.
In cards, like greeting cards, I expect something in greeting cards because you're buying gifts, which is, a big reason people are shopping on Etsy.
Yeah,
And a common denominator of buying a gift is you need a gift card.
yeah.
So,
One of the things I've kind of realized too in looking through specifically cards on Etsy is the Hallmark ones that you get in the store are just like super blah. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that was kind of happening anyway when I would go to the store, Target or CVS or
yes.
Hallmark or whatever, and I'm looking for cards and I'm just like, this isn't even that funny and it's not really that personal. It's just kind of a blanket thing, like bleh, that you feel like someone at a desk just kind of was like, bleh. And if you make greeting cards for a living, I apologize. I'm sure I wasn't reading any of yours. But the ones that I've seen on Etsy are actually pretty cool, pretty personal. Some of them are more edgy, right? And in being more edgy, they kind of
Yes.
get more descriptive of like the people you're trying to gift things to, which is cool. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
I agree. Yeah, I've run into the same thing. For whatever reason, you go to you know, in Target or whatnot, like you said, or CVS, any of these
Yeah,
places. And yeah, a lot of them they kind of fall flat. Their
right.
jokes aren't really that funny. A lot of them, if you notice, a lot of them are just kind of like funny pictures, but they're
Yeah,
kind of like
or
so
like
played out.
celebrities or
Really,
something. Yeah. Oh, you there?
yeah, yeah. And the pictures like funny and just. So,
Your sound's cutting out real bad, dude.
oh no, well your video's frozen.
No. It sounds better now. I might just have to make a
That's
note
good.
to edit here.
Your video's still frozen
Is
though.
it? How about now?
Yeah, yeah, definitely still frozen.
Yeah. What about the? I guess this you can't tell if the slideshow's frozen because I haven't hit next
Well,
yet.
you moved. You're moving really slowly, but you're moving.
Oh, good. That's usually how
Oh,
I like
now
to
you're
do it.
frozen again.
All right. As long as your video and audio is coming through okay, I think we're gonna be okay. Let me see what
Okay,
slide am I on?
great.
Slide 26. Let me exit out of this and see. Yeah, your video's okay. It's really blurry, but audio's coming through fine now. I know it's really annoying. What time? We're at 28 minutes into the recording. Let me just make a note real quick to cut that out.
Good bastards. So while we're waiting, should we take him to the gun show?
All right, let's see.
Got this light going on right here.
All right, so we'll pick up where we left off here, and I'll edit all that
All
out.
right.
Sounds like we're good now.
Except for the gun show. You gotta leave the gun show.
We'll put the gun show back in. Yeah, we'll open it with that.
Perfect.
All right, so we've got 2016 top 5 keywords with the highest engagement. Number 5 is personalized. No surprise here, I don't think, really. There's a lot of personalized things on Etsy. Now, one of the things we noted here, this is engagement. Now, we can't just look at engagement and assume that that's the best thing to go with. You also need to consider some other factors. So I've added a red dot next to this guy to show the level of competition that this has. And this being a dark red dot, anyone who's familiar with the Marma meters inside of Marmalade will recognize that as being high competition. So that doesn't mean you can't use this keyword, right? If this applies to you and you are doing something personalized on Etsy, it just means you have to be aware of that and know that it's going to be harder to rank for this because there's more people competing for this keyword. So try it out, right? Put it in your tags and title. If you can rank for it, that's fantastic. That's awesome. Use it because you're going to get that high engagement. But if you can't rank for it, it's probably not going to do you a whole lot of good in your tags and your title. So swap it out for something with a little bit lower competition and hopefully find something that also has good engagement there too.
Yeah, if you can't rank for something, it's not helping you.
Yeah.
Like there's basically no point to that whatsoever.
I mean, eventually you might rank for it, right? Like once you hit some threshold of sales or reviews or whatever else Etsy's looking at. So keep trying, yes. Right? Don't just like blow it off forever. Once you've kind of built up some steam and momentum in your shop using other keywords, try for the higher competition ones because oftentimes those will be the ones with higher engagement too.
So if you opened your shop this morning, you're probably not going to rank for personalized. But if you've been at it for a while and you're doing well and you have, solid photos, descriptions, stuff like that, so you have a nice conversion rate. So when people are finding you for the keywords you can rank for, they're finding you, they're clicking you, they're buying. Etsy sees that and says, okay, this is good. This is a winner. Let's move them up. Let's move them up in what they can compete with. And then you can start doing more, high competition keywords like personalized, and then you can actually get ranked for them because you're a proven winner. So always work on a track record of being a winning shop and you will be rewarded for it.
Yeah. Number 4 in our top 5 keywords with the highest engagement through all of 2016, probably my favorite, nasty woman. So
are you serious?
I am serious. So anybody who follows U.S. politics is going to be familiar with this. If you don't follow U.S. politics, you probably have a much happier life. But for those of us who are familiar with these things, this is cool because it just goes to show, how fast Etsy can move and how things that turn out to be kind of trends can show up and have an impact really quickly. And people fold it into their products pretty fast too. Now this one is marked with a darker green, so it has actually really low competition. I think the competition on this one was very low. So sweet opportunity for anyone out there who's interested in making any nasty women products. Number 3, we've got
your real political
pattern.
friends.
Yeah, exactly. We've got crochet pattern. And again, this one has high competition as well. Number 2 is messy bun beanie, which this is like super specific, and it kind of blew my mind that it made this list, but nonetheless, there it is. And this one has moderate, like sort of low competition, not super low competition, but it's got more stuff than nasty woman, apparently.
So is messy bun beanie, is this the beanie with the hole in the top?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's new, right? That's like a really new thing, and then all of a sudden it caught on, and everyone's making them now.
Apparently, yeah, because I hadn't even heard of it. And I'm not like a beanie connoisseur or anything, but when I saw this show up on the list, I was like, I gotta go check out what this is. And yeah, it's like a beanie. If you think of a beanie with a hole in the top of it for your hair bun.
Yeah, I hear that that's like a brand new thing. No one for some reason had ever done it before. Someone came out with one.
Yeah.
It got super popular, and then everyone else started doing it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let you do the number one, and then I want to make a comment about some of these
Okay.
keywords.
All right. Number
Cool.
one, crochet. Boom, right there. Super high engagement on crochet. Also super high competition on crochet. So kind of goes along the lines of the same stuff we talked about before. If you are selling a crocheted item on Etsy, it would be great to include this in your tags and your title. But for people who are maybe just getting started out in the crochet industry, a more important thing to keep in mind is that this is going to be extraordinarily hard to rank for. And you might be better off finding alternative keywords to use in your tags and your title for your products than opening with crochet.
Good call.
Now go ahead, dude.
All right. So 2 and 4, those strike me as new things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know number 4, nasty woman. That's a little catchphrase that popped up, I think, in 2016, right? I'm not sure if
I don't know
it
if it
was
was a
used
thing
prior to
before
that.
Yeah, I don't.
Messy bun beating.
Yeah.
I think, again, that was something that came up pretty recently. These are the top 5 for highest engagement.
Yeah.
And those are the 2 on here that aren't near as competitive.
Yeah.
Personalized, I'm pretty sure that's been around since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Crochet pattern and crochet, probably. So what I want to point out here is these things are great opportunities. They're new, they're timely, and there's not a lot of competition. The competition hasn't had time to really sink in there yet, right? So you can kind of ride these waves. Not saying you have to run in on these 2, but in general, right? If we looked at like a top 30 list or something like that, you might see other ones in there that are pretty new, timely, relevant, and not that competitive yet. And eventually these probably will be, right? Well, except for number 4, they'll probably kind of run its course and taper off.
Yeah.
But there's probably a good number of people who are making good money right now, selling, targeting that.
Mm-hmm.
And when that tapers off, they're going to be like, cool, happy, made money while I could, and they're going to be riding the next wave.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that that shops should kind of look for, especially when they're trying to keep it fresh and looking for new products, new product lines. Just kind of check out what's going on. Something you don't have to create a market for. Something that's already, out there.
Absolutely. And so Richie's also not aware of this yet, but given that we have our thumb on the pulse of all of these keywords that are going on, Marmalade has went ahead and developed our very own personalized nasty woman messy bun beanie crochet pattern that you can pick up yourself on marmalade.com. Totally kidding about that. We haven't actually done this. And special thanks to Knots Aplenty, by the way. I borrowed their image of their messy bun beanie, which I have altered to look like nasty woman personalized messy bun beanie.
Perfect.
So, kind of also in the same vein, looking across the data across the entire year, it's pretty cool to be able to see what keywords seem to be popular when throughout the year and know, when I should start setting up my listings for certain holidays and things like that, events throughout the year, so that I can make sure I'm teed up for when the engagement starts to build, right? I want to already have my tags and my title set up ahead of time so that when people are shopping for Christmas, I'm there. I show up in the results, right? And to know when I should start doing that, obviously I don't want to do it too early because it's kind of a waste. I'm not going to, enjoy the traffic from it because the searches haven't picked up yet. And I'm wasting a tag or a spot in my title for it. But it's good to know when that actual point is. So one of the things we can do is look across the year and help with some of that. So we've picked a few different areas here, holidays and whatnot, that might be useful to track in your tags and your title, and broken them out over several months so you can see when engagement really starts to peak for those different areas. So Christmas, looking at Christmas, no huge surprise here, right? Starts to pick up a little tiny bit in September, but the real gains happen to be in October and November. Surprisingly on this graph, though, we did find that engagement for Christmas search terms actually seems to be lower in December than it is in November. Now, I guess that's probably because most of the people shopping on Etsy are familiar with the fact that it's handmade, and It's not like I'm ordering something from China that can just like show up in 2 days and I can have it 2 days before Christmas. They've probably gotten used to the fact that sellers need a little bit of lead time here to sometimes craft these things from scratch, or at least at the bare minimum, put these things together in packaging and ship them out to me. This isn't like a drone delivery system here.
Yeah, I know that things definitely get chaotic from the seller standpoint in December as it gets closer. And their experience with customers gets a little chaotic too, because people are like, I don't want to pay for the expedited shipping. And they're like, well, you don't get tracking then. And they're, or like guarantee this or that. It's like a big window. Like, well, it's 7 to 14 days then.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, they're like, hey, where's my stuff?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
I
you
didn't know.
got this. You picked the cheapest option after I told you, please don't do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I know that when I start doing last minute stuff, the last minute shopping, I start to get really aware of where I'm buying stuff from and trying to minimize the risk of things not showing up, because everything else gets more chaotic too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're traveling, if you're having people over, just like regardless, things start getting really chaotic as the holiday approaches.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Now, I will say though, people that are getting their stuff together in October for shopping, I mean, that's awesome. I'm not at that point yet,
great.
you know. I'm like, let's get over Thanksgiving first. I can't like focus past that, I don't think, but it's good. So if you are setting up your listings, it looks like the best time to do it is probably sometime late September. Would be my recommendation. Go through your listings and make sure you are set up so that in mid-October or whatever, whenever that starts to really pick up, you are showing up in people's search results for Christmas gifts.
You know, another nice thing about doing this stuff ahead of time, when you catch these early shoppers, they might buy something or a couple things from you early.
Yeah.
But as they realize they have maybe more gifts they forgot about getting something from, or maybe they tell people, not that they just bought that for, but they're like, hey, yeah, I just bought so-and-so a gift from, and that person still needs to do some shopping. They can give out your shop as an idea. So like, hey, I just bought this for my sister from this shop on Etsy. Oh, cool. I totally need a gift just like that. My cousin would love that.
Yeah.
Like I'll go to that shop and I'll buy it too. So you might be able to leverage that and actually get more shoppers from the early shoppers.
Yeah.
Whether the same person or just referrals.
That's a really good point.
And
people do like to share their gifts and their gift ideas with other people a lot too. So that's a really good point, Richie.
You could even encourage people to do that in your packaging. So when you send to those people, whether you want to offer them something special, like, hey, you want to buy like anybody else to buy for? A long lost aunt, for example, maybe. We'll throw in an extra bonus of something if you make another order within like this holiday season, or, hey, give this to a friend, all sorts of ideas.
Yeah.
But
coupon code for a friend, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Jump on that stuff early. Yeah. And that way you don't have to wait till next year.
There you go. Another trend to look at is weddings. Wedding stuff is popular not only on Etsy but everywhere. And so in looking with engagement of weddings across the year, it's not like there was any one point throughout the year that it's super duper spiked, because I think there's usually a pretty good spread of summer, winter, fall, spring weddings. But found this a little bit interesting. There's a couple points during the year that you probably want to be aware of. It looks like August is a popular month for wedding stuff. Also May, and then January, February, which I don't know if people are getting married that commonly in January and February. Maybe like a winter wedding is getting to be more popular, but I'm guessing that people who are planning their weddings kind of like a year out are doing a lot of the stuff during the winter months where things are slower, right? And they can't get out and like look at venues and stuff like that necessarily during the winter time. But if I'm planning a wedding, why not buy some of the stuff for my wedding theme over those winter months?
Makes sense. Start doing that stuff on the computer when you're not busy looking at venues and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah. Next, we've got up Mother's Day. So another popular holiday here. I believe Mother's Day is the very beginning of May. Is that right? Am I right about that? May 4th or something?
I believe it is. Okay, so forgive me, but it's just one of those ones that floats. It floats, right? So
I think it does float.
It's always on a Sunday, right?
I think so.
I don't remember if it's like the second or third Sunday, but I think it's always a Sunday.
Yeah.
in earlier May. So I feel like it's
Yeah.
like the second Sunday of May, maybe.
So Mother's Day, again, it kind of follows the same pattern that we saw with Christmas, where there's some lead up to it. It looks like January's still not a whole lot notable going on there, but February starts to pick up a little, and then March and April, the 2 months leading up to it, are pretty busy for engagement with Mother's Day tagged items. And then in May, it drops back off again, kind of unsurprisingly, because it's already passed.
And there are lots of people, as you can see, that have forgotten to get a gift for Mother's Day, and they're shopping in June, and they're like, you know what?
Yeah.
That place I bought it from totally didn't send it, but don't worry.
Don't worry.
I'm going to go buy another one.
They sent it, and it was broken, and I said, this is an outrage, and so I'm taking care of it.
I can't show her this.
Yeah, I love her too much. So then we've also got Father's Day engagement. And I think Father's Day is early July, maybe?
See, this one I have no clue about.
I guess I could Google it real quick. But we've got the busy months here. Again, 2 months, May and June, are the busiest months for Father's Day. There's a little bit of ramp-up time. It's in June. Is it late June?
It is, because I was moving over Father's Day this year. That's the only reason I know that. Father's
Day is Richie's moving day.
Hopefully not every year.
Some years it'll be on Mother's Day.
It's only fair to switch it up.
Next up, we've got 4th of July. So if you are familiar with American holidays, 4th of July is a big one, Independence Day for us here in the States. And it's the 4th of July. So that's there's no argument over what month this is going to happen in. The lead up to this one is big again in May and June. Actually, it's more popular in May than it is in June, which is kind of a little surprising, but there it is. And then it tapers off by July. Obviously, probably not ordering too many things like the day of or the couple days before. However, I will say, too, that with some of these things, like Mother's Day and 4th of July, which tend to be at the very beginning of the month, I've seen Etsy sending a lot of emails to kind of remind people that there's this whole category of printables now. And so you can actually go out there like the day before an event, whether it's a birthday or, Mother's Day, 4th of July, whatever. Say you're having people over for a cookout. I can go find printables that I can purchase and download immediately on Etsy, print those things out, and boom, I have them up around my house's decorations. So there could be a fair amount of traffic right before an event like that.
That's a very good point about the printables. That's kind of the instant gratification side of things.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe 4th of July starts to spike there in May, because that's kind of when summer starts to really set in. I'm not sure when summer actually starts. I think it's like mid-June, but in May, I feel like is typically when everyone's starting to get that groove of summer, and they're probably getting excited because they're really happy to be coming out of winter. And like the rain that comes with spring and stuff like that. And they're just like, I'm so ready for summer. What's the next holiday? 4th of July? Yeah, let's plan that.
Let's do that. Yeah.
And then you do that one really hard, and then you're like, I can't wait for winter.
If you're even shopping for 4th of July, like grill type related gifts, whether it's like a personalized grill spatula or something like that, that could tie back to Father's Day too. Like, oh, maybe I'll get him something for 4th of July. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah. I feel like Father's Day and 4th of July are both like really big grilling holidays.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to grilling next year.
Grilling's fantastic. I did the most disappointing thing yesterday, and I swore last time that I would never do it again. I did it, Gordon. Any idea what that might be?
You made a hamburger in a frying pan.
Yes, that's exactly what I did. Sounds like you've been there.
I've been there, yeah. It's not the best. It's not the same.
It's
better than
worse
no
than
hamburger.
Not the best, man. Yeah, arguably, but it was awful idea, man. Just you you can't cook them properly.
Yeah.
It's just an awful experience. They just sit and grill in their own like
Their own grease.
oils.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which I know some people might think sounds great, but you gotta understand when you're grilling it, that
Yeah.
stuff drips off and kind of like it flames up a little
Yeah.
bit and burns a little bit
Fantastic
more, right? And you
smells.
get that.
Oh, yeah.
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 And
Now,
you just don't get that in the pan. And
have
it was
you
awful. As soon as I started doing it, I was like, what have I done?
what have I done? I immediately regret this decision.
I did.
Have you ever done it on like a George Foreman or like countertop grill or anything?
Years ago, I feel like I did.
Do you remember if it was like good or not good or better than a frying pan? Maybe I've never done it, so I don't
Better
know.
than a frying pan.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was probably years, maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't that memorable of an experience. It wasn't as good as a grill, definitely better than a frying pan, but a George Foreman grill did a much better job of the burgers. Much better.
Yeah. Well, I think they're kind of designed
Yeah.
to help the grease like drip off and stuff too, so maybe that's part of the key. I don't know.
Well, they also have those grooves, which
Mhm.
I think are in there to like kind of emulate the grill lines and
Yeah.
stuff too.
Yeah.
So they did a good job, actually. I'm not sure if they still sell those, but it was a solid product.
I think what you're going to need to do is figure out a way to get your grill inside your place.
I think so too.
Maybe some kind of a hood with an exhaust fan. I don't know.
You never know. I do have some room over here. You can't really see it, but I guess you can. Well, maybe not when you crop the video, but over here by the window, maybe I could just open up the window, put an exhaust fan there, put the grill here. We could grill and jam at the same time. You could set one up by your window.
That's actually a cool idea. Maybe we should do like a midwinter cookout someday.
That'd be hilarious.
I was just thinking too, like with a fireplace. I wonder if you could put like a little Weber grill in the fireplace, open the flue, and just have at it. Or if it would be like extremely bad to get all the grill stuff like coating the inside of your chimney, just coat the inside of the grill stuff.
That's a good point. Like you're not supposed to burn pine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like sappy woods in your fireplace because the creosote builds up.
If there's any firefighters listening, please
bacon grease.
Yeah, exactly. It's like someone has a fire and they're cooking bacon.
That's a good question. Yes. Any firefighters, do let us know. Email Kevin.
My fireplace.
Yeah.
Because they even make like for campfires, they have those like grill racks you can put over them, right? And you just cook your food on over the fire. Like that'd be cool. I just don't know if throwing food in there is a really bad idea for the chimney, right? I don't want to cause like a house fire. That would not be good.
That's a good point.
I will say too.
My aunt and uncle had one of those.
Oh, they did for a campfire?
No, a house fire in their fireplace.
Yeesh. Yeah.
Yeah, years ago, I think it was on Thanksgiving or something like that. I was very young.
Yeah.
But yeah, they like had to knock. So basically, what they do is like they knock the fireplace like out through the side of your house and everything. Because I guess I don't even know what the heck happens, but it's not good. But your house gets pretty torn up.
I can imagine
when they go to put that out.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so
that sounds intense.
So don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Make sure your fireplace is clean. Don't burn pine or other sappy woods.
Yeah.
And make sure your fireplace is professionally cleaned like year to year.
Yeah.
So you don't have a fireplace catch on fire.
True story. Consider this your annual reminder. Your friendly Marmalade reminder to have your fireplace looked at. Your chimney.
That's right. There's still plenty of winter left for you to be safe.
Yeah. It reminds me of a story too. We're talking about doing silly things inside. I was at I believe it was either Home Depot or Lowe's once, and I was looking at the fire pits, and one of the salespeople there told me that he actually had a guy come into the store and bought a fire pit and asked if they thought it would work for heating up his house, like a space heater. He wanted to put it inside of his house in one of his rooms and use it to heat his house.
We're talking like a wood burning fire pit?
Yeah, we're talking like those like bronze like bowl things that you put logs in and have yourself a little campfire.
I mean, I guess if you want to get that and then put like an electric space heater in it, as opposed to like starting a fire in it,
Yeah,
that might work.
sure.
Wow.
Right? I was kind of blown away by that. I was like, are you sure he wasn't like trolling you? Like he wasn't just coming in here to mess with you and see what you'd say, but it seemed, I don't know. Seemed like it was legit.
That would make a kind of funny YouTube video, though. Like, we could totally go to a Lowe's or Home Depot and ask that question. Be like, my basement's kind of cold, and I think a fire pit would be really cool.
Yeah.
Do you think this would work down there?
Yeah.
Like, how often do I have to throw more wood on the fire to keep it going all night?
Yeah. What are your warmest light bulbs? I'm thinking of heating a room with just a bunch of light bulbs. That would be kind of fun. Just to see what people would say.
That would be fun. I bet you'd get a variety of responses.
Probably. Yeah.
You'd probably have one person that's like really helpful and it's like, oh, warm light bulbs, you should check this one out over here. Burn myself on this a bunch of times.
We've both got really young kids too. It would almost be funnier to be holding them when we're asking these ridiculous questions.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like, I'm not even worried for your craziness now. I'm worried that your kid's not going to make it past like the age of 5 because you're asking me about campfires in your living room.
Point to our kids and be like, she really wants to put a campfire in the living room. I'm looking for the best one.
We needed to do s'mores, and it's too cold out.
Make it like look really kid driven, like the whole project, So it's like not even you. You're just kind of asking for her.
Yeah.
She's shy, so I'll ask for her.
Tell him your question.
Okay, I'll ask.
Perfect. Let's do it.
This would be perfect for our yet to be created YouTube channel.
All
right. We
right.
have quite a few ideas we still need to put into action, by the way.
We really do. There's a whole lot of video content to be made out there. Actually, an interesting fact, too, that I don't think I included in here, but we did look up. We've created 39 hours of video in 2016 as well, which is also another big number. 39 hours. That's if you were just watching that, it would take you a solid work week just to sit down and get through all of those videos. Yeah.
A really light work week. So, I mean, if you're only working 39 hours, like, you should put it on instead of Netflix.
There you go.
So next time you're thinking about like binging Netflix, instead just go over to the Marmalade channel.
Just binge some jams.
And hit play there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can never watch it too many times. Good background noise for when you're cooking or something like that.
Yeah. And then when you have like friends and family over, you can be like, oh, we got to watch this one jam. It was my favorite.
Yeah, you guys want to sit around the basement fire pit and watch the Marmalade videos?
Yeah, if you do that,
that'd be fun.
Send us pictures. Had the family.
We're definitely not encouraging you to put a fire pit in your basement. We're definitely saying not to do that.
Yeah. And if you do, you're going to want to get your basement inspected at least once a year by a chimney sweep.
Yes. Yes, you will.
So, next area of discussion. Shop Fitness Calculator. I don't remember when we introduced this either. It was either the very end of 2015 or the very beginning of 2016. But this is a tool. You can find it if you go to marmalade.com/apps. It's a free tool that we have out there, and it allows you to enter some stats information from your Etsy shop, and we'll kind of analyze that and give you a score in a bunch of different areas for how your shop is doing. And SEO is one of those. We show like your conversion rate and other cool little bits of information and stuff like that. But given that we have the Shop Fitness Calculator out there, it allows us to look across the information that people have entered and provide you back some information kind of on average to see how other Etsy sellers like yourself are doing in different areas. So the first thing to look at is the number of views per month that the average Etsy seller sees. Now, this is across all products that they would have in their shop. So again, it kind of fluctuates based on how many products you have and stuff like that. But the average number of total views per month that an Etsy seller sees is just over 4,277 views per month. In that same vein, the average number of sales per month that they see is about 39, that's pretty good. That's just over one a day, right? Now, the really cool thing we can do here with both of these numbers, the views and the sales, and this is where it really gets useful for you, is we can figure out what the average conversion rate on Etsy is. And we did this not long after we introduced the Shop Fitness Calculator. Did it again just now, looking at the whole entire year, and it really hasn't changed that much since we first looked at it when people started really engaging with the Shop Fitness Calculator. We're looking at about 1%. It actually works out to 0.9%. But we're looking at about 1%. And what this means is 1% of the people that are looking at your product, that are on your listing page, that are viewing it, will purchase. Okay, so 1 out of 100 people. And Etsy says, I believe they say to shoot for 3%. That's kind of a standard in e-commerce, is like aim for 3%, right? But what we've seen from people that are using the Shop Fitness Calculator, it's definitely closer to 1%. And this is fairly constant. There aren't many people that have a whole lot higher than 1%. There's probably a couple people out there, that have like a 2, maybe a 3 if they're doing really well. But it's pretty standard to see around 1% conversion rate. And this is something easy that you can do with your shop too. And actually, you don't need any special tools to do it. You can just go into your Etsy stats and make sure you set the time period to something meaningful, like a month or a year or whatever. And then count your views up. They'll show you your views over that time period, and they'll show you your number of sales over that time period. Between those, you can figure out what your conversion rate is in your shop.
Yep, conversion rate is one of those things that's pretty important too. Like we mentioned just a little bit earlier in the video, and this is less than a third of what Etsy wants you to aim for as like an average. But as with most things, the people that are the top, right? So like the highest conversion rates on Etsy are typically probably around 3 times the average. That's how that normally works. So there could be people out there with like a 9% conversion rate. Conversion rate, like we talked about, photos, really solid photos, and descriptions, really solid descriptions. But also, if you're just driving a bunch of traffic to your shop that's not actually interested, not your target market, has zero interest in actually buying it, and you're just getting views to it, those are not just worthless, they're actually hurting you, because having that lower conversion rate not only makes it so you can't tell at all if you're doing anything right, because you're just sending random people in there, but it doesn't look good to Etsy when they say, we want 3%, right? They want to drive traffic. They want to help drive traffic to shops that are converting it. So the more targeted you can get your traffic coming in, by picking the right keywords with your Etsy SEO, and all that fun stuff. And not spamming people, right? Like, don't just spam your stuff out there just to get traffic. Get that conversion rate up, and that's a good metric for you to, just kind of keep an eye on, and it's really like a good indicator of the health of your listings. Probably more meaningful than really anything else, because it means you have the right people showing up and you have what they want, and they purchased it. So it's a good thing.
Absolutely. And that wraps us up for our look back at 2016. And just to leave you with some closing thoughts, 2017, it's a whole new year. It's a whole new fresh start. Make it yours. Come up with the goals that you want to attack in 2017 and get after them. Do whatever it takes to make sure you're hitting those goals. Figure out what things you need to put in place to, kind of plan for success and get yourself moving in the right direction and moving towards where you want to be this year.
Absolutely. And I think one of the most important things to remember is to not overplan and to not overthink. Not overthinking is something I constantly have to try to remind myself about. Overthink, because the more you think about something, you naturally kind of want to think about why something's not going to work. And I think it's because it's easy to do. It's easy to talk yourself out of doing the work. It's easy to talk yourself out of, I don't need to cut the grass. It's going to rain later and just grow even more. I'll cut it tomorrow, right? It's a lot easier to say, like, it's not going to work. Because it means you didn't have to do the work. So don't overthink it. Just do it. And if something fails, cool. Like, note, I did so-and-so. It didn't work. Now I'm going to try this. Hey, it worked a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it more. And because a lot of time is wasted with big plans, a lot of time is wasted with overthinking things where you can a lot of times find out if something is going to work or not quicker than thinking about if it's going to work or not because you can just do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try this keyword and see. But a lot of times people are like, oh, do you think this keyword will work in this and that? And it's like, if you ask them, they're guessing.
Yeah.
But if you try it, then you'll know. You'll know real quick. Okay, I should not say like real quick because I know some people are like, well, how quick? How many minutes until I know if this keyword works?
How many minutes are in a
So
month?
not that quick, right? Quick. You'll get a timely answer, and it'll be the real one, as opposed to if you ask somebody, they might be like, oh, that keyword didn't work, and it's like, okay, well, have you seen their photos? Have you seen their description? Have you seen all this other stuff?
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, maybe one of those are the reason it didn't work. Maybe someone has an awesome keyword and the rest of the stuff wasn't, lined up properly, so it didn't work.
Yep.
So always try things out for yourself. Don't overthink them.
Yep.
Don't overplan. And like you said, Gordon, just, go get after it.
Yeah.
And I can just keep going, but don't be busy for busy's sake, right? Like,
yeah.
Focus on the things that you think, like, what are the things that are critical to my success? Not everything. Some people are like, I'm just going to do more work. More work equals more results. Well, not always,
Yep.
More of the right work equals, more success.
Absolutely.
But there are some things that you just, you spin your wheels in place.
Yeah.
So
I was just going to say, there's hustle and there's spinning your wheels. And you don't want to be spinning your wheels.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for hustle, but hustle on the right things. Because some things you're just going to burn yourself out. And you're going to be like, I worked really hard and nothing happened.
Yeah. And what are the right things? I mean, the best way, like Richie is saying, is to measure, right? Make sure if you're doing the right things, you will see improvements. And if you're not seeing improvements, then you're probably not working on the right things.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you have a shop, which I'm assuming you do if you're listening to this, the right things from a high level standpoint are getting the right people to see your products that solve the right problem that they have.
Yep.
Whether that be they need some wall art, they need some headbands, they need whatever it is.
Yep.
You need to get people that need the wall art to look at your wall art and they say, oh, cool, this is what I need. I trust you, buying it. So whatever you do, if it focuses on improving those, that's the right work.
Yep. 100% agreed.
What, I don't get the gym teacher math? You don't agree 110%?
110%.
Perfect. I like it.
There you have it, guys. So that was a fun little look back at 2016. If you're interested, jump back into our Facebook group and continue the conversation about the jam there. Share your goals with the people in the group too, so that maybe some people who are trying to work on their own goals can get an idea of what might be something good to shoot for, or something that might be unique to you, but other people can find useful also. So make sure you hit us up there too, because we love hearing back about how things are going for you. We love hearing back about your experience with listening to the jams and other ideas that you have too. So definitely do that.
Yeah. And as far as sharing your goals and stuff, you won't be the first ones because we've already started that in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
So jump in on the conversation.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be the first. Jump in.
No pressure, right? Not the first.
No pressure.
And just, if you just want to say something, just copy someone else. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I mean, unless it happens to be your That's cool. Anyway, we will see you guys next time on Etsy Jam.